Hello, my amazing artists, and welcome back to Art Wealth Part with me, Miss H. This week, we are going to learn about how to create collages. Maybe you've already created collages before, maybe you haven't. Either way, I hope that you can learn something new this week. So, to begin, I want to play this little video for you, and while we're watching, I want you to pay attention to what do you see happening and what do you notice. So let's start. There's no sound to the video, but I will make it bigger. All right, so, wow, this is going kind of fast. So I'm going to kind of pause it. First, I noticed that, look at the paper. It's actually painted paper. And then they, if you could tell, they were actually drawing on the paper. It looks like they used a template here, a cutout of a bird. So they traced it. Then they're cutting out what they drew on the painted paper. And then let's keep going. Okay, I see more shapes are getting cut. More things are getting traced than cut out. See, they're drawing first, then they're cutting. Okay. And then they're laying it on this blue paper, which looks like it will be their base, what they're going to put the paper on and eventually glue onto. Okay, still cutting. Now, ooh, perfect timing. I was going to say, up to this point, have they used any glue? No, they have not used any glue at all. And that is because when we make collages, we want to arrange the pieces until we like the composition or how the pieces work together to make a picture. Then we glue. Okay, so look, they had to start with the piece on the back and now they're layering the pieces and adding some details with a crayon. What a wonderful idea. And look how beautiful. Adding those details really makes it come to life. And I love how they use painted paper. What a neat idea. And, ooh, a background. Okay, very cool. So that was a little time lapse of someone making a collage. Okay, artists, thank you for watching that. And now I want to go over some steps that will help us remember how to create a collage. So first step, and I'm looking just right here, you need to choose a base. So a base is what you're going to glue your materials on top of. This is where we're going to build your collage. So I normally just use paper. Some other ideas are that you could use cardstock, or if you want it to be more sturdy, you could even use cardboard. Next, you need to select your materials. What are you going to create your collage out of? Some ideas I provided are, well, simply just paper. You could use any recycled paper, maybe that you're going to throw away or recycle. That's a great way to take care of our environment and use what's around you to create your art. Also, painted paper, like we saw in that video, that's a great idea. Maybe paint some paper, let it dry, then create your collage. Also, magazines, newspapers, even some old books. If you are going to donate, throw away, or get rid of any books, that can look really cool to have printed words on a paper to make your collage out of. And then, of course, you will need some scissors or glue. If you don't have scissors, you can, look at step 3, actually tear your shapes. That's a fun way to experiment with how to create a collage and create really cool, interesting looking shapes. Either they can be organic or geometric. And then arrange the shapes onto your base. And it looks really good if you overlap some of the shapes, as we can see in this picture here. Continue rearranging until you are happy. So I like to play with mine and really move those pieces around until I create a composition that I like. Once I'm happy, then I attach the shapes. I use glue. You can use either liquid glue or glue that comes from a stick. That's up to you. If you don't have glue, it's always good practice just to arrange the shapes and create a picture. Then you could take a photograph of that artwork, and that would be a good way to store your artwork. Even if you don't have the glue, it still is possible. At the end, add some details. What could you do? Like we saw in that picture, they added the beak, they added the eyes, they added a background. When we add layers of materials on top, it just makes a lot of variety and it makes your artwork look really interesting. So I encourage you to do that. This slide is going to be here for you so that you can refer to it while you are creating your collage. But before I send you off to work, I just want to kind of go through the slide deck and show you or point out some things for you to pay attention to. Here is a little video of me building a magazine landscape collage. So I'm using magazine as my material. My base is construction paper, and I did actually cut these out, and you'll see how I arrange them and to create my composition. You do not have to create a landscape. This is just an idea. And another idea is this is a portrait that I made of a girl, and I used all magazine clippings as well. For these, I cut most of them. I think I tore a few, but mostly I cut. And then I wanted to focus on creating a complementary color collage. So complementary colors are colors that are across from each other on the color wheel. So I want you to look at the colors that I have and what complementary colors, which pair did I use? If you said orange and blue, you're right. And I wanted to show you this because there are some different colors here, like here's a little bit of purple and some reds, but overall, if I scoot back, it looks like the background is all mostly oranges. And then the foreground, where the portrait is mostly made up of blues. So you could give that a try if you are wanting some ideas. Making a complementary color collage is really cool looking, it stands out, and maybe it's something you haven't done before. Now, these are all just ideas for you. I'm giving you a lot because I want you to have a lot of freedom in how to create your collage this week. My expectation is that you create some sort of collage. Again, if you don't have glue, you can just arrange it and take a picture. And then my second requirement is that I do want you to watch this video on this slide here. It's about this artist. He goes by the name Mark Paper Scissor, and he is fascinating. His art is so cool to look at. It's amazing to see his process. So watch this video to learn a little bit about him. Then go off and get started on your own collage work. And let me skip forward here. Last thing, if you are curious, I kind of wanted to point this out to you. If you click on down here, it says learn about the new blue color that has been discovered. So click on that and look, scientists have created a new blue. So a new version of a blue. It's the first new blue pigment in over 200 years, and it's being made into a crayon. How cool is that? 200 years, y'all. And there was actually a voting contest that went on, and the name that was decided is Bluetiful. So there she is, Miss Bluetiful, and this is actually the pigment. And here you can learn a little bit more about how this blue was created. So here's the scientist that discovered it, and the scientific name is right here. So we won't be calling it that name because it's a little easier for us to just say Bluetiful. But if you want to know the science behind how this was created, you could read this down here. I do want to point out, I love his quote. It says, "It was serendipity or a happy accident because we weren't looking for it." So how cool. Sometimes when we make new discoveries, they just happen. So I challenge you to see what you can discover this week as you are experimenting with creating your own collages. All right, artists, I hope you have fun, take chances, and stay curious. Until next time.